So today's story is very special. My background is in neuroscience, and that was the reason why I was introduced to Valeriy. Here we discuss life adventures, challenges, and the power of personal branding. I'm your host, Julia Juliati. Welcome. Valeriy was on his way to the United States to meet Dr. Canavero, an Italian researcher, scientist, surgeon, who was coming also to United States to present his groundbreaking research to American top scientists and surgeons, and to propose to do the first in history head transplant surgery. So Valeriy was a candidate for this surgery. Valeriy, many people follow this story, but some people just don't know the story. So I would ask you to give us a summary what actually happened.
Всем привет. Меня зовут Valeriy Spiridonov.
Hello,
Я долгое время занимался...
my name is Val Spiridonov. I have been doing impressive things in my life for a long time, but in 2014 I saw a TV news report. A certain doctor was planning to do an experiment that I had only read about in books by other scientists, science fiction books on the transplantation of the human body.
книгах других ученых, книгах научных фантастов по трансплантации человеческого тела. На тот момент...
At that time, it seemed to me that this was an interesting idea, at least in my case, or in the case of people who have a serious illness that cannot be cured in any other way except by transplanting the head. I thought it reasonable to contact the doctor and offer him my help, to cooperate in doing this together.
предложить ему свою помощь, сотрудничество в том, чтобы сделать это вместе. Мне хотелось помочь ему.
I wanted to help him from the position of the patient as a participant in this experiment and show the whole world that such technology is extremely needed in situations that cannot be corrected otherwise. I contacted him. He responded quickly. I was very happy about this because I thought it would be very difficult. I thought that people who do such research are inaccessible for contact and communication. But with him it turned out not to be the case. I was lucky. We started talking. I showed him that I didn't just want to transplant at any cost, but that thanks to the scientific works of other scientists, Vladimir Demikov, Robert White, who tried to do similar experiments before on animals, I knew the details of what he was going to do. Of course, success back then was very limited.
Владимира Демихова, Роберта Уайта, которые пытались сделать подобные эксперименты раньше, давно, на животных.
Dr. Canavero attracted attention by reporting a key achievement of his technology, the ability to fuse spinal cord neurons at the point of injury, at the point of incision. This was the key component that his predecessors lacked. So it seemed to me that there were only a few more steps to accomplish what was conceived.
Нейронов спинного мозга в месте повреждения или в месте разреза. Это был тот ключ, которого не хватало предыдущим его предшественникам.
I wanted to be the first. I wanted to help people take the first step in applying this technology to humans. Yes, I offered my services, and since then my life has changed.
Безусловно, мне хотелось быть первым, мне хотелось помочь людям сделать первый шаг в этом направлении. Поэтому, да, я предложил ему свои услуги, И, в общем, с тех пор
Tell
я
me
живу
about your
дома.
trip here.
Расскажи,
How did you end up here?
про твою
What
поездку
happened
сюда.
here?
Как ты здесь оказался? Что произошло здесь?
Весной 2015 года
In the spring of 2015, a conference was held in the field of neurobiology, a professional conference which Dr. Canavero and I were invited to.
Dr.Canavero
The event took place in the city of Annapolis in the United States.
Аннаполис,
It's about 3 hours from New York by car.
около 3 часов от Нью-Йорка. Мне помогли друзья, которые у меня...
My friends who live here helped me.
И я приехал.
I arrived and was surrounded by care. Thank you, Julia, for taking care of organizing my stay.
Очень комфортно.
I felt very comfortable. I felt at home, among friends.
Мы встретились с доктором Канаверо первый раз, лично,
We met Canavero in person for the first time.
пообщались немного.
We talked a little, and from that point on, I was sure that we were moving towards the set goal.
Что мы двигаемся
My stay in the United States was not long, but very bright.
в Соединенных Штатах.
I still remember all the details of that trip.
Я до сих пор помню,
Julia showed me New York.
я помню, как Юля
I was delighted with the ferry tour, walking around Times Square, and everything we managed to see along the way.
паромной экскурсии.
Of course, I felt very calm, comfortable. I realized that the world is much more than I thought before.
Чувствовал себя
People who can become your friends can be found in many parts of the world.
больше, чем я думал раньше. И люди, которые могут стать твоими друзьями,
In my opinion, the 2015 conference ended ambiguously.
конференция
Yes, Dr. Canavero spoke to a professional audience.
противоречива.
Perhaps he gained some supporters.
Да, доктор Канаверо,
Someone became interested in his research. But unfortunately, this research is so unusual, so eccentric in its own way, that not many scientists, unfortunately, as far as I know, spoke out openly in support of further research.
необычное, настолько противоречивое, настолько по-своему экстравагантное, что немногие ученые, к сожалению, насколько мне известно, открыто выступили
For various
в
reasons.
поддержку
Partly these reasons were related to legislation, which of course does not allow such experiments on humans.
причины, связанные
Reputation-related reasons, because not everyone is ready to put their name next to this kind of research, which apparently, according to the scientific community, is insufficiently proven.
что не все готовы ставить свое имя рядом с такого рода исследованиями, которые, видимо, по мнению научного сообщества,
But this happens to any pioneer,
недостаточно подтверждены.
to anything that has never been done before. So it is expected.
С любым новым
Breaking down the wall is very difficult.
сделано. То есть это как бы ожидаемо. Что пробить как бы стенку очень тяжело.
Я не могу сказать, что...
I cannot say that this was unexpected for me.
Хотя, конечно, мне
Although, of course, I would have liked more people from the professional community to be interested in this.
были заинтересованы.
And even my attempts here, when I came to the States, to establish a connection with the best surgeons in Miami and Dr. Canavero, these attempts failed precisely because of the reasons mentioned above.
Связь с лучшими хирургами Майами,
But I did everything I could.
попытки провалились. Именно в силу названных выше 3 причин. Но я сделал все, что мог.
Were you disappointed?
Я был спокоен.
I was peaceful.
Но я
I
понял,
wanted more. But I have already achieved a lot.
благодарен.
I am grateful for what happened.
Я очень
I am very happy thanks to the opportunities and roads that have opened up before me.
и тем путям, которые передо мной открылись.
I am very glad that I have new friends. As for the operation itself, I cannot say that the reaction to it plunged me into depression.
Я не могу сказать,
No,
что
this did not happen.
это поставило, и это ввергло меня в депрессию. Нет, этого не произошло.
Ну, многие
But many who
просто
followed this
бросали
story
свои
expected
рейсы,
and thought it was your
ждали,
last chance.
как бы думали, что это твой последний шанс.
К сожалению,
Unfortunately, it probably looked like that from the outside. Yes,
но
I
действительно,
understand.
честны.
But let's
Диагноз,
be honest, a diagnosis of spinal muscular atrophy was until some time incurable,
это совсем не
until very
И
recently.
даже в первом интервью, если посмотреть
And you
на
even
это,
said in the
говорил,
first
что
interview that
тебе
you were
предсказывала
predicted a
очень
very
долгая
short life.
Моя
My
жизнь
life
была
was supposed to end first at age 7, then at age 20. Now I'm waiting for new odds.
Let's make it 120.
Давай, хорошо. Я уточнил свой диагноз.
Awesome.
Это
So,
SMA
I clarify my diagnosis. This is the so-called SMA.
у
It leads to the fact that a person's muscle strength fails at a very early stage.
проявляется
This applies to both skeletal muscles and internal organs,
относится
the
как к
heart.
скелетным мышцам, так и к мышцам внутренних органов.
There is a lack of the necessary set of genes to generate proteins that are responsible for muscle mass growth.
Генов для
SMA type 1 is the most severe.
за рост
People with it really live very little.
амиотрофия
Until
первого
recently,
типа
I thought I had data
является
that I had
самым
type 1.
тяжелым,
Fortunately, when I did additional research,
крайне мало.
I turned out to have type 2.
И до некоторых пор мне казалось, у меня были данные о том, что у меня амиотрофия именно
This means that yes, I have weak muscles, but I have normal life expectancy.
совсем недавно.
Fortunately, technologies have matured by this time.
Означает то, что да,
A syrup for oral administration has appeared on the market, which makes it possible to stop the further development of the disease.
к счастью,
Not to reverse it, but to stop it. This means that the disease will not progress, that I will remain at the current level.
применение, так называемый сироп, который позволяет остановить прогрессию.
I will be able to continue using the computer for as long as I want.
Вспять, ну, остановить.
This is enough for me because I work with computer technology.
Что я сохранил
I have an engineering degree.
на текущем уровне.
I had time to take care of my health only very recently, in January 2023.
Достаточно серьезно.
We did additional genetic tests, and now we are moving towards getting this medication.
У меня диплом инженера компьютер сайенс. Время заняться своим здоровьем у меня появилось совсем недавно, где-то в январе 2023 года. Мы сделали дополнительные тесты, генетический тест, и теперь мы движемся к тому, чтобы получать это лекарство.
So the progression of your illness is stopped.
Прогресс
Your
остановлен.
next step will be recovery.
То есть следующий шаг будет
I hope
прогресс.
so.
Я надеюсь.
After being denied surgery, what happened next?
После
Rethinking of
отказа в
life,
операции.
goals?
Что случилось дальше? Какое-то переосмысление жизни, целей.
Операция никогда
The
не
surgery
была
was never
для меня
plan A for me.
планом A.
I did not prioritize it for my whole life.
Приоритеты для
I
всей
realized that
своей
it could
жизни
happen or it might not
могут
happen.
случиться, а
So
могут
I
не
didn't
случиться.
stop pursuing my own education, my own career, my own personal life, and I didn't put that on hold waiting for a decision or appointment for that surgery.
И я не ставил это на паузу для того, чтобы ожидать результатов или решения о принятии или назначении.
I continued working with computer technology, studied a lot, gained experience. And at one point, in part because I had become a little famous, I was contacted by my good friend now, who told me that if I wished, I could continue my education abroad, in particular in the United States.
Со мной связался
I applied and I talked a lot with teachers from different fields.
рассказал мне, что есть возможность при моем желании получить дальнейшее образование за рубежом.
I was lucky. I got a response from them quite quickly, and in 2018 I was already in the US as a student.
Преподавателями разных направлений. Мне повезло, я достаточно быстро нашел отклик среди них, и в 2018 году я уже был в США как студент.
Let's talk about the most
Давай
intriguing
расскажем,
things.
что самое интересное.
What is the most intriguing thing for you?
Что случилось в личном плане?
What happened in your personal life?
Lots of fascinating.
Интересного, действительно.
Indeed.
Самое интересное.
That's the most enjoyable and most important thing.
Я очень счастлив.
I'm very happy. I'm married.
You have a stunning wife.
Бывшая жена.
Мы встретились в 2016 году.
We met in 2016 almost immediately after the widespread publicity of all my intentions. My future wife, surprisingly, wrote to me to dissuade me from what I wanted to do.
Как ни странно,
She thought I could be happy enough, successful and good looking in the physical condition I already had then.
она
And I found it interesting.
считала, что я могу быть достаточно счастлив, успешен и хорош с собой в том
I listened to her.
состоянии, в котором я был уже.
We quickly realized that we are good together.
Я ее выслушал.
We spent a lot of time together.
Встречаюсь.
We traveled to the places where I needed to be for my work, for my meetings.
Быстро поняли, что
She helped me in everything. She thought I didn't need to change anything radically about myself.
вместе
We got married. When we came to the United States, we realized that we would have a child.
моей работе, по моим встречам. Она помогала мне во всем. Она считала, что мне не нужно ничего в себе кардинально менять.
He is 5 years old now and completely healthy.
И когда мы приехали,
He is wonderful, active, and cheerful.
мы поняли, что у нас будет
He always finds reasons and options to play with me. He reads to me. We walk a lot together.
замечательный
He has been going to school and extracurricular classes for several years already.
поводы и варианты.
He is an athlete and an intellectual, and my great pride.
Мы с ним вместе много гуляем. Он уже несколько лет ходит в детский сад, в школу, другие секции. Он и спортсмен, и интеллектуал. И моя большая гордость.
I know many will have the
Знаешь, что у многих
question.
будет вопрос, а
Is your illness hereditary?
по наследству?
Это справедливый вопрос. Это действительно генетический
That's a
вопрос.
fair question.
Тем не менее,
This is indeed a genetic disease. However, it is important to take into account not only my genetics, but also my wife's. This disease is transmitted only if a predisposition to it exists in both partners.
склонность, несклонность.
In all other cases, this does not happen.
У обоих.
Just to be sure, of course, we did the research and it showed that we can do whatever we want.
Конечно, мы сделали исследование, и оно показало, что мы можем делать все, что хотим.
Are you planning to
Собираетесь
continue?
продолжать?
Do you have plans for another
Да,
child?
Планы на следующего ребенка?
у нас есть желание, у нас есть
We have the desire and the understanding that probably with two it will be more interesting for them.
Так, в общем,
Yes, and opportunities have appeared. The idea that children are probably, if not the main, then one of the important parts of life. What you live for and you look forward to offers.
того, для чего ты живешь, и тебе интересно
You are interested in watching your child grow up. And this is truly valuable. Perhaps even more valuable than what I could have acquired if my venture with the surgery had been more successful.
если бы моя первоначальная затея закончилась успешнее.
Tell me what you are doing here now?
I professionally defy hackers.
What does that mean?
I deal with cybersecurity. This is what I dreamed of doing for many years before. I had the opportunity to do this in the United States. This is an extremely popular competency in the IT technology field that helps companies protect their customers' private data and transactions confidentially. That is, the news you read when some data is leaked onto the network. This usually indicates that someone was either a very good hacker or did a poor job in cybersecurity. So I'm on the side that counters hacking.
Либо плохо работал в сфере кибербезопасности. А вот я нахожусь как раз по ту сторону баррикад, которая противодействует.
But understanding the other side?
Yes,
That's fantastic. It's so impressive.
it really is great. I was interested in this subculture. Perhaps since I watched the movie The Matrix, or maybe even earlier, I was fascinated by the topic of cybersecurity. Here I managed to do it professionally, and I do it well enough. My clients in the past were companies like Google, PwC, and other large and medium companies. Today I give private consulting. This gives me confidence in what I will be doing for the next 20 years.
So you're already on to the next 20 years?
I find it very interesting. I see myself in this perspective. It seems to me that life is making more and more sense. More and more opportunities are appearing, and I'm trying to take advantage of them.
I get the impression that you are someone who does what he wants.
Yes, I tend to do so.
An example for most people.
I am very embarrassed when people tell me I inspire, motivate.
You do inspire. There is simply no other definition.
I am very glad if I can show that even with fairly modest initial conditions, if you want and make some effort, you can really do what you want. You can achieve a lot and be very happy in your life.
Those who meet you in life get to know you, I'm sure, because I'm talking about myself. You are someone who just completely changes their attitude to life in general. After meeting you, I completely stopped complaining. Because if you can achieve absolutely everything you want, then what possible dissatisfactions can I have? What can I complain about?
Thank you. I'm flattered. But do you sincerely believe that life is bright and there is no need to waste time on complaints or just because?
I've always been an optimist. But I've never been such an optimist as when I met you. You just gave me a kick, so to speak.
I'm very happy if my appearance in your field of vision changed your thoughts in this direction. Indeed, if people knowing about me can love their lives more, appreciate it more, understand that many more paths are open to them than they think, it means I'm already not doing it in vain.
You are definitely not doing it in vain. I believe that the more people find out about you, the better for all of us.
I appreciate that.
You actually need to be on stage. You just need to be in front of people and tell your story to everyone. Because it is so powerful. I don't know people like you at all who inspire so strongly.
Thank you.
What are your plans for the next 5 years?
Мы хотим,
We want a second child.
мы точно будем
We will
заняты
definitely be busy for the next 5 years settling our new home.
Ты считаешь себя
Do you consider yourself a happy person?
Я считаю себя необыкновенно
I consider myself extraordinarily lucky, but my luck and my happiness are undoubtedly the result of a lot of.
большого количества усилий.
Is this luck?
везение?
Let's tell the truth, this is not luck. This is just that you decided that's how your life would be.
Это просто ты
And you
так
do
решил,
everything to make it that
как у
way.
тебя будет жизнь.
It's you.
Делаешь ли этого, что
It's not luck.
это ты. Это не везение.
Спасибо. Наверное, еще потому
Thank
что
you. Probably also because I didn't want my life to be different. I wanted it to be bright,
не была такой.
to attract attention, never to evoke pity, and I think I'm succeeding.
Чтобы она ни в коем случае не вызывала жалость. И я думаю, что у меня получается.
Why is it important for you not to evoke pity?
Не вызывать жалость.
It seemed to me that a person is much more than how he looks,
Человек — это
than
гораздо
what he can
больше,
physically do.
то, как он выглядит.
And so when people define others based on these criteria, it always upsets me a little.
Когда
I wanted to change that.
определяют или судят по этим критериям, меня всегда немного расстраивает. И поэтому мне хотелось это изменить.
For those people who are in a difficult situation, who feel bad now, who don't see a way out, what would you say?
Которые не знают выход из положения. Что ты скажешь?
That's a big responsibility.
Это очень большая
Don't put me in such a position.
не надо.
Ты человек, который принимаешь решения, поэтому я тебя
You are a person who makes decisions, so I'm asking you this question.
Я думаю, что основополагающим в любой
I
ситуации
think that the fundamental thing in any situation is, first, of course, the desire to change it and then perseverance in applying efforts every day. Because it won't end with one action, or one decision, or one event.
каждый день
It really is a series of steps that you will take in order to live as you
не
want.
закончится каким-то одним действием, или одним решением, или одним событием. Это действительно череда ваших шагов, которые вы будете делать.
Can everyone be happy?
Любой может быть счастлив.
Yes,
Что тебе дает энергию?
What gives you energy? What inspires you?
О,
oh, lots of
об
things.
этом мы можем говорить.
I don't know if I can talk about everything within the framework of this video.
Давай из того, что
About
сегодня
everything.
здесь, я скажу, что меня вдохновляет
Let's go with what has no age restrictions. I'm inspired by beauty. I'm inspired by strong people.
люди,
People who do what others are afraid to do.
люди, которые делают то, что другие боятся делать. Я думаю, что
Are there many such people around?
А много таких людей вокруг.
I try to surround
стараюсь
myself
себя
with
не
them.
окружать. Правда.
Really.
Не стесняйтесь писать мне,
Don't be
не
shy
стесняйтесь,
about writing me.
рассказывать свои истории.
Don't be shy about telling your stories,
Задавать вопросы.
asking
Я
questions.
всегда говорю, что я
I've always said I'm open. I love sharing moods, impressions, emotions.
настроением, впечатлениями.
And for those who want to interact with you more, get to know you, where can they find you?
Узнать, где можно.
I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Telegram.
How can they find you?
Как тебя найти? Можно
What's your username?
Valeriy Spiridonov.
Val Spiridonov.
You'll find the links below the video.
под видео. Это линк.
Awesome.
Прекрасно. Поэтому
Great.
Валера ждет
Val
ваших
welcomes your
вопросов,
questions and comments to share support and inspiration.
вдохновения.
Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you so much for the second part.
Замечательно.
I hope there will be a part 3.
Я надеюсь, что будет
I'm sure of it.
Уверен в этом.
Я
I'm sure too.
в этом тоже.
Then 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Шесть.
and we'll see from there. Thank you so much. As always, you inspire. I'm very glad that so many people will see you again.
I'm glad to see you too.
Я рад, что тебя тоже увидят.
So if you liked our story,
Если вам понравилась наша история сегодняшняя, like, follow us, Valeriy. Follow me on YouTube for more stories, and all the links will be under the video.
Thank you.